Part 2. Azure Moon. Heartstring Moon. The King's Triumphant Return. Following the death of Rodrigue, Dmitri begins to question his desire for revenge. His troubled mind turns to the kingdom capital and how he might end the chaos plaguing Fargus once and for all.
All right, here we go.
Our victory at Gronder was certainly a turning point for us. However, Rodrigue's death has been difficult to bear. We've lost considerable military strength and resources.
All right.
Unfortunately, with things as they are now, I don't think House Gautier has any resources to spare.
I'm sorry. I really wish we could help. If only House Galatea had anything to give.
If we split up the soldiers currently defending the monastery, we should have sufficient numbers to invade the Empire. But even then...
Your Highness, you should be resting. Your wounds are still healing.
I am well, I assure you. More importantly, may I have a moment of your time? Thank you. I wish to apologize to all of you. I have led you down this dark path with me, and have caused so much suffering along the way. I cannot tell you how sorry I am for my behavior. There is no apology I could offer that would be sufficient.
And how do you intend to make up for my father's death?
Felix, I realize words alone are not enough to repent, but I fear they are all I have.
I'm not after more empty words. I want you to speak through your actions.
I know that no amount of regret can ever bring back the lives we have lost. I know that well. It is like patching up a tear with a different material. Things can never be as they were. The best I can hope for is to make things whole again. I wish to do the right thing from now on. That is why I have made a decision. I intend to take back the kingdom capital. I wish to save our people. Those who I turned my back on for far too long. To follow my heart and do the right thing. That is the only way I can atone for my sins.
Your Highness. If we can win back Ferdiad, it will give us the advantage in our war against the Empire. As one who has served the royal family for ages, know that your words bring me great joy and pride. That said, I must point out that if we make for Ferdiad, the Emperor's head will slip further out of reach. Can you live with that?
I still hold hatred in my heart for her, and for the ones responsible for the tragedy. That I will carry with me until death. But my life is my own. It belongs to no one else, and it is high time that I started living for what I believe in. I will no longer allow the voices of the dead to bind me. This is something that I must do. No. Something that I am choosing to do. I will accomplish my aim, even if it means risking my life to do so.
Understood, Your Highness. So, any objections?
You are correct. We cannot afford to die in vain by recklessly challenging the Empire.
I'm worried about Lady Rhea. But if this is the choice you've made, I support it.
I am at your command, Your Highness. I will follow you anywhere.
My sword is at your service, Your Highness.
You don't use a
I'll
sword.
help too. The people in Ferdiad need us.
Fine, I'll help you, in my father's stead. But in return, you must win. You know that, don't you, Dimitri?
I do. And I swear on my father's lance that we will prevail.
Then it is decided. It seems this war council has much to discuss. Our next stop is Ferdiad, the kingdom capital, for the future of Fargus.
All right. Now we can train Dimitri, get supports with him.
Sleep evades me, so I thought I'd get in some extra training. I was
Have
just
him
about
more
to
as
finish.
a real member of
Perhaps
this
it
army
is the
again.
gloomy weather, but I am feeling the sting of wounds that should have healed long ago. The injury I got when that girl stabbed me after the battle at Gronder. Her eyes were filled with revenge, just as mine once were. I don't know, but I have a guess. Ah, I suppose I haven't told you about that yet. I was attacked inside the monastery the other day. It caused quite the uproar. The ones who attacked me were some of the youths we taught swordsmanship to once upon a time. Of course, I could capture the lot of them with my eyes closed. It seems they were raised by a group of thieves we put down 5 years ago. I heard Lady Rhea took custody of them, claiming that the children were innocent. I have taken so many lives, and with each one I face hatred. During the last 5 years especially. My life was not so different from that of a wild beast. And that young girl's brother. At some point I must have... That is why I thought it only natural that someone would retaliate someday. Because I hated. Because I stole and... because I killed. But with those children, it's different. We drew our blades with the best of intentions, only to hurt them in the end. I suppose this is yet another thing we will just have to live with. Yes. As one who chose to fight, it is my responsibility to confront this anguish and the true nature of war, until the day my life comes to an end. Thank you. You know, Professor, there is something that I only recently realized. I never knew it could be so comforting to have someone standing by my side.
All right, A support. Dimitri. Server maintenance starting. What?
I have a question for you.
Good evening, Dimitri. Have you come to pray?
Something like that. And you?
Oh yes, that's why I'm here. I love how calm and peaceful the cathedral is this late at night.
It really is.
Coming here on a quiet night always makes me think of those who aren't with us anymore. We've lost so many in this war, too many to count. I hope they all get to live in eternal happiness at the goddess's side. These prayers are all I have to offer.
You are a kind soul, Mercedes.
I think you're kind too, Dimitri. Sometimes to a fault.
Kind? Me? No, not at all. I am just a killer. A disgusting monster.
But why do you kill? For the sake of your loved ones? Those who have passed? Real monsters kill for selfish reasons. They're incapable of expressing sorrow when they kill. So please, don't call yourself a monster.
Mercedes, I am scared. So scared that I will forget their faces. The people who have died, who I have killed. I cannot let myself forget them. I know that, and yet... Whatever my feelings, it is all the act of a monster.
It's sad, but the truth is that people forget. You may be afraid to forget your past, but you'll never be able to revisit it. Living in the present is the best we can do. We owe it to those who can't come back.
If someone had said those words to me 5 years ago, I would be a different man today.
What do you want to do now, Dimitri? Continue fighting for those who have died? Not as a king, but as my classmate. What do you want to do?
My own dreams. I have never given it any thought. What about you? What do you want, Mercedes?
I want to keep sewing and training with you, even after you've become king. I want to be your friend.
But I have no right to stand beside you.
Please, I can't hear any more of this self-deprecation. I just want to be by your side. Is that so much to ask?
Mercedes. I want the same thing. If you allow it, I wish to stay by your side.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels that way. Let's spend a little more time here together. Just the two of us.
Finally, you score a point against me on the ground. You have improved, Ingrid.
That was nothing more than a fluke. My technique was horribly sloppy that last round.
It does not matter what sort of technique it was. You won. If this had been a real battle, I would be dead. You wielded your lance well, without any hesitation. Has your approach changed?
You may recall when I said I'm now able to move on, because of you.
I remember. What did you mean by it?
That I finally understand a truth about Glenn. It sounds as though he died with a heavy heart. A heart that carried regret. I had suspected as much. But instead of acknowledging it, I twisted my memory of him to fit an ideal I've been upholding.
I see.
Your Highness, I will not sacrifice my life for anyone. But perhaps instead, I can live my life for someone. I will pledge my life to you.
And how exactly am I meant to interpret that?
However you please, Your Highness.
Ingrid, when this... I have been thinking of telling you that...
As your knight, of course I'm together, Your Highness.
Yes. Do not die on me, Ingrid.
Yes, Your Highness.
See what happens there. I don't know. Let's explore.
No, Sam. You got it. Hey, how about a favor?
Hello there. This one, yes. I think 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 this one, yes. Return soon, please.
If you manage to taxes in the fog, that corny from the Empire, but if they...
Hey, welcome. You have a good pleasure. You have a good You have a good You have a good pleasure. You have a good You have a good pleasure. You have a good 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 pleasure to come again.
Welcome. This one? Thank you. Please come again.
Okay, that's done. Let's hit the sauna. Yeah, definitely. I like seeing his supports at this point, like after he gets his crap together. Alright. What are we doing here? Happy. Oh, this doesn't look good. I do not like the RNG element of the sauna, unfortunately. All right. See if it gives us better RNG this time. Make it good and steamy. Hey, there we go. Excellent. Constance up next. Very good. Two very refreshed characters is exactly where I want to be. Alright, now we make our rounds.
Hello.
Who we got here? Cyril.
Yeah, guess what I noticed? But I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see. Yeah, I suppose. Thanks, Professor.
I'm sure we'll totally use you in battle ever. Whoa. Let's go here.
Definitely. After that great battle earth to get revenge for all.
Then we'll go around over here.
But if His Highness is owning up to his past, I figure I can give him that chance. We've been friends since we were kids. I'm gonna be there for him all the way to the end.
Must have been aggravating for Sylvan and Felix and Ingrid have to pledge to this bad king for so long, but he finally seems to be turning it around.
Thanks so much. Oh.
Oh. Huh, Sylvan's.
Professor.
Oh, right, I
really
did
call-
sound
I am also... Now, it's time...
He is at full motivation. Okay.
How is this? Everyone is what he was. He has always been. That is exactly.
True. Dimitri's come either way with our current truth.
Okay.
Maybe.
What have we got here? Shamir.
So we're turning around and heading for the... Tell him to... Isn't there a say? If he's not careful.
Yeah, well, Church of Saros, we've got a kingdom to get back. Not really interested in bowing to you either. One more trip to the Holy Tomb. I say that like there's not going to be one every single chapter. Energy drops, sweet! Goddess icon, always good. And a secret book. Quite a haul for this place this time. And this. Three stat boost items just for going to...
Say, I've come because of it. We're busily playing.
You know when you work your muscles, if your muscles are hungry, you gotta feed them. Of course. What's with the... Gotta go bully Bernadetta.
Unbelievable.
It's obligatory. Oh.
I'm relieved
This is
that
Bernadetta.
but now... I'm relieved but now...
Okay, there's a few that definitely need their motivation back up, but it's only one set of 7. That's why. Here's Bernadetta.
It's always so peaceful coming, and now we're headed to the kingdom? That sounds hard. Of course you...
Obligatory bullying complete.
Hey, you. Right.
Go see Ingrid.
Oh, I can still hardly believe. Oh.
Is this gonna be Glenn's grave?
We buried
No.
Lord Rodrigue's body
Oh,
ourselves.
right, Rodriguez. Duh.
There wasn't time to do things properly once this war is over. For now, we need to focus on taking back Ferdiad. All will be well
It's
eventually.
saying something
I know we
about
can win.
Felix's relationship with his father, that Ingrid is the one taking care of this stuff. Just, like, Ingrid is stuck doing this when she was Glenn's fiance before he died.
Is this for me?
And she's at fault, so why am I doing this? Wasting my good items. Like a fool.
Well... Anyway, I was born and raised in Fargus. Do you think it'll still be cold at this time of year? You're right.
Ash is full.
Professor!
Bite me, Catherine. Happy and Constance.
Singing is nice, isn't it? Tra-la. Well... Oh, standing fate. How inhuman. It is my hope.
What?
So many people died in the battle at Gronder, and here we are, preparing for... It's almost easier to think about war as theater, with the stage an entire continent. Something like that. If an accident happens on stage, the next day's performance must be unaffected. Everyone just pretends like everything is fine, focusing on their role in the play.
Dorothea truly does hate the fighting in this war. Alright, we've got Felix and Marianne. Was Dorothea full? No, she was not.
So many... And here, it's almost...
Gemstone
Are you...
beads.
Are you...
Alright, second floor.
I never used to, but after seeing, I'm ashamed.
Hopefully we'll get to Marianne's paralogue. Alright, Felix, what have you got to say? Your
No
dad
need
died.
Though if my father could see Dimitri now, he'd be glad to have made the sacrifice. Don't you dare tell anyone I said that.
That's an interesting take.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Alright, a lot of people on this floor. Oh look, another bot that I need to ban. That's fun.
I need to be speaking.
Sorry about the bot spam.
I think the Emperor was the Lester from now on.
I am very grateful. This is all this month. Leave the negotiations a tricky bit. I have a request. This month. Leave the a tricky bit.
Right. Taking back the... That is why I actually...
Huh, Petra's at full. Wow.
Edelgard, all the house leaders from way back when. I wonder what their thoughts.
There's something. It seems we will soon say. I used to live there, you know. Though that was before my time in the Officers' Academy. That's right. I was. Trouble within the kingdom forced me to return to Alliance.
The battle at Gronder, but perhaps it's irresponsible to look away. As survived, man ages.
I've literally never used Ignatz, despite recruiting him every playthrough. So that's a thing.
Fighting with 3 different groups and enemies and if only I had.
I hear there is a way to build Ignatz kind of well, in that you can. He makes a pretty good assassin.
Perhaps some Lady Rhea would want to.
He makes a good assassin because the chance at the RNG for lethality is based on dex, I think.
It seems we are headed. It may be around. Besides.
So that works really well to his strengths, although his other stats for doing damage with assassin don't work great. But honestly, I'd rather, if I'm gonna use assassin, just recruit Petra from the Black Eagles.
There are stories of so many, in fact, that I'm especially since we know of relics like those.
There's a school of sorcery in Ferdiad, the study of crests. I've often thought, I never imagined.
Alright, we're done up here. See Hilda on the 3rd floor. Okay, that makes sense.
Huh? I'd rather.
Though
be
you also have Leone,
during a warmer
Golden
season.
Deer,
And going
and I
into
guess
battle?
she's
Not
kind
exactly an
of
appealing
extremely
prospect.
predisposed toward Bow Knight,
I'm just teasing.
right? So what did you end up doing with Leone in that playthrough?
Dimitri hated the Empire with a fiery passion. Now, if he can make thoughtful decisions, unswayed by his emotion. No, they...
Interesting take, Ferdinand.
I agree that we should head for Ferdiad. The soldiers from they'll be able to keep...
Mercedes
The
can't train
kingdom... Oh, Professor, I didn't mean... it's not that I'm looking... It's just the kingdom cap, judging by what we... But all of that...
Until as such, the late king hired a researcher named in the space of just a few at the same time. Unbelievable.
Gladiolus.
Okay.
Here's my thought.
The fish in this pond gets but the fish, it's a bit of a...
Professor. Greetings, Professor. Ferdiad is a city with a... I'd like to visit that place. Ah, well.
Alright. We didn't talk to Casper yet.
That's right.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Can you believe it, Remember that awful business between him and my Uncle Randolph? He just came by and said he was sorry for all that. That was behind us as far as I was... It seems like he's changed.
Interesting. Before I forget, actually. Yeah, let's do that. We still do have one more slot to use, but first let's hit up Abyss.
This seems. I challenged him to a brawl, hoping for a quick knockout. But true, between you and me.
Alright. Let's see what we can grab here. Only a healing staff here. Okay. Never mind.
We've come so far, but it's not like we have. So we've just.
Give him a board
You
game.
really? So we.
He can't teach anything.
If we're going to the kingdom capital, that means I'll run into the lady who, well, you know. That's a bit much. We'll just have to see what happens. That might come in here. That might come in here.
Iron bow and steel sword and another steel sword. Not so great.
It's a shame that it takes us this way.
I think he talked about how he didn't want to invade you.
I hear there was a pretty spectacular. There was a lot of talk when it first started. What?
Got a wager for you. My friend says there's twice as many women in Abyss as men. No way.
Hey!
Hey you, listen up. I hear there was a huge battle. Maybe there's life after death.
Alright, that's all we got here. We forgot Mercedes earlier. That makes sense though, to not use more than one bow knight. Like, I have a tendency to, like, thoroughly plan out a team of 13 units every time I play this. Since the first one, anyway, because some units let you use 11 or 12, some, like, I think the final mission lets you use 13, and a lot let you use 10. But, like, that encourages you to, like, not use your horses and maps that don't really fit them well and such. And to have a
So
bunch
they'll
of,
be able to keep.
options available whenever possible. Got a statue back. And let's throw her a couple flowers here. Alright, we can't train with anyone else, I don't think, so... Alright, let's turn that quest in.
I need to be speaking. Taking that as actually.
I think
This month, leave the nego. Is a tricky bit. This month, leave the. Is a tricky bit.
Oh, I already have the quest, apparently. Okay. Well then. Oh, give them to him as a gift.
This month, leave the nego. Is a tricky bit. Thank you. Thank you very much.
There we go. Free training weight. Let's hit the sauna one more time. With dudes. I really don't feel like reloading, so he's just going to be somewhat refreshed. Instruction time.
Thanks for.
Would you look? Not bad. You're. Would you look?
I could do. You see, I shall. You see, I could do.
Oh, thanks for.
Okay. Well enough. Look who we can train now. And he did kind of poorly, honestly, but at least we got him those points.
I have... You're...
Alright, now what? Group tasks. Petra, Constance, sounds good. Goals. Everything looks good here. We get training.
I've got a question.
Chatterbox.
Oh, why would I do this? Here, Annette, have some flowers.
We must be...
Very well.
We have 6...
This is working out.
There is always more to learn.
Yeah,
Alright, so no one important learned anything. Alright, who have we got here? Just the 2 paralogs, apparently. I apparently missed a shop being open of the Dark Merchant. Oh well. I'll be back. Alright. We're gonna need to do this one. So, let's see how I'm feeling after I've done one crazy mission where I have to warp my units to the opposite side of the map. At least Mercedes is of a reasonable level.
Professor, Mercedes! What are you two doing here?
We were just talking. Why do you look so flustered?
Haven't you heard? An Imperial army was spotted near Garreg Mach.
Oh, do you think they came to scout?
Maybe. We could probably take care of them if that's the case. But I heard the Death Knight is out there.
The Death Knight. No, it's nothing, really. Now's probably not the time, but I was just thinking of my brother.
You have a brother?
Yes, but we have different fathers. He was a year younger than me.
Okay.
Why'd he suddenly come to mind?
You see...
Quickly, the death... He only... We can't guarantee...
The Death...
Mercedes, wait!
No!
So basically, we're going to be dealing with the Death Knight here, but we're not actually going to fight him. We have to fight everyone except him. Or I guess we can fight him, we just don't have to. And in the midst of everything else, I'd rather not. I have plenty of Dark Seals already. Alright, so... we have to deploy Casper here. It's kind of terrible. He is a level 8 commoner. And we're going to be attacked by that wolf soon. So that's just all around unpleasant to deal with, but not deploying right now. Sylvain is the right one not to play here. How's everyone on weapons?
Well,
Repair.
is that the thanks a bunch? Is that thanks a bunch?
And Felix, how's he doing? He'll be alright. Yeah, he'll be fine. We're going to be using warp a lot. And we got to keep Casper from dying. If I didn't have 1,000 other things to take care of, I might worry about it. If I get her there, I'll do it, but as it presently stands, like,
Emil,
my
take
priority,
your helmet off. It really is you.
if he's gonna be just standing there.
I finally caught up with you, but I'm here now.
What's my strategy?
I'll cut through.
Leave it to me.
Just good to have brought you to here with that treasure chest.
Now.
Why not?
Let's see. What I'm gonna have to deal with up here. The Death Knight still doesn't attack.
Put me in there.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
At your service.
I will prevail.
Ready when you are.
Ah! 71, 213 damage.
Let's make this quick.
Hope that's not a mistake.
Sunshine.
More fighting.
Apologies.
use.
I think the
Nice try.
bait strategies are still working.
Too slow.
Petra is doing really
No
well
use.
right now.
Nice try.
Her increased strength. Oh, that's what I was afraid of.
I must pull through. Watch and learn.
Well done.
Oh, gonna need more people there real soon. Alright, that clears up our defenses a little bit.
So,
Taking as much advantage of this forest as I can.
Too slow. Not quite.
Getting some of the heat off of Mercedes and Caspar at least. So if this one goes very smoothly, I'll do the Mariana one after it. Still gotta get rid of those two though.
What's my strategy?
So we can get this guy with nice little dark spikes. 84 damage. Dorothea Condenser.
That helps.
She'll hit the next one for absurd numbers.
Well met.
Almost had magic here. Unfortunately. Gotta do things with the sword sometimes.
Thanks for that.
That'll have to work for now.
Thank you.
This is...
Casper, go hide in the forest. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Gross. At least it's pronounced. And the rest of the circles are getting pretty close now, so... Okay, we can work with this. That will certainly work.
Much needed.
Those are the only two I've got, huh?
Apologies.
So they get to attack.
Next try.
Alright, we took out some amount of health. They don't seem to be moving in Casper, so that's good for us.
Thanks. Too slow.
There's the wolf done with.
This level.
Warning below. I don't know that one. Oh god, it's in your health bar.
Well done.
Yes, it is. Keep doing your thing. You're pretty good at that. What I can do though. Whee! Warp staff. All these warp users is so great. Dead.
I admire you.
Alright. This is going very smoothly. Way better than I expected it to. These guys are fast though, so can't one-shot. See if we can get Zithia there to bully the Death Knight one more time.
Apologies.
Ah, thanks.
Thank you.
Alright. Oh god, reinforcements. I don't like that much at all. Oh my god.
Enemy reinforced?
Let's take.
What? Just, what? Reinforcements. Alright, well. Now have our hands full with these guys for a bit. Oh, that doesn't have enough damage to kill it.
What's my strategy?
Ready when you are.
Sunshine.
Alright, if we kill one of these guys. I believe Johnson's
That
not
was fun to
particularly
watch.
vulnerable if they
Let's make this quick.
should be interested in doing an attack here.
Put me in there.
So close. Alright, let's reel this.
Next try.
Okay, good RNG, I suppose, on our side there.
More fighting.
Alright, well, in that case, we can get Casper completely out of the way.
At your service.
Mercedes is not going to do a whole lot, but
I'll cut through.
Why not?
I wonder, actually. Oh no, she's out of works, never mind.
Leave it to me.
Worth a try. Boom! Dead.
I will prevail.
Alright, so now he's going for Lysithia, which is still certainly a threat because Lysithia is squishy. These guys are not particularly close to anyone. Alright, see what happens. We're gonna go for Lysithia, which is threatening, but obviously she can kill them on the counter, so
Thanks.
and now we just have these reinforcements in theory, or we can do this.
I told you that
Bye.
I must go.
I feel like, I don't know what they were trying to go for with the Death Knight in this, because they make him playable on Crimson Flower, and like,
Thank you.
I guess we'll see more of him when I stream Crimson Flower, because, yeah.
Maybe it's...
Too slow.
I don't know enough about him, like, his other character, like, I guess. This Dark Knight here is going to go after Ingrid, probably. Next try! I miss horribly because Ingrid is in the forest. And then Ingrid's going to murder him. Because he has nothing on her. And that was actually surprisingly easy, so that bodes well.
We did it! Are you
So
all right,
let's do
Mercedes?
Marianne's next. That one's gonna be a
I
butt
am,
hell.
thanks to you. But still...
There's something you wanted to ask him, right? Come on, he ran off into the forest.
Thank you, Caspar.
All right. I don't recall if there were any special rewards for that paralogue.
You came.
How many years has it been since we last spoke? I'm so sorry.
Neat.
I should have come for you sooner. I'm sure it wasn't pleasant living in House Bartels.
You can get the
I'm
Scythe
not
of
sure I
Sariel.
follow. Do you know this guy, Mercedes?
My younger
But
brother,
only if
Emil.
Casper defeats him, apparently.
Is it really you?
According to this wiki.
I'm sorry, what?
Which?
Your brother is the Death Knight? But you two look nothing alike.
Casper is like Ignatz. I've just never bothered with him. Like my first playthrough
Hold on just a minute.
was Crimson
Is that
Flower,
all you've got
and
to
I just
say for
didn't
yourself?
see much merit to his character. He was falling behind. Then on
That's not
my
true.
playthroughs
You're
after
her
that,
brother, right?
Azure
But you've
Moon
got
and Verdant
nothing
Wind
nice
I
to
used
say to
do,
her after all
and
this
Raphael, and they were okay, but so one-dimensional. Like, it's just
Even
why?
if I die, I've made my choice. Please, Emil, fight on our side instead.
I cannot. My soul has long departed. And yet, here, take this and go.
Is this a hero's relic? You and I must share the same crest.
When next we meet, I will kill you without hesitation.
You won't kill me. I have this now.
I guess we probably don't get that lance, but
Until I can kill you.
Emil! I can't believe he's gone again.
I can't tell whether or not he actually cares that you're his sister.
I look forward to
Somewhere,
playing Crimson
hiding
Flower
underneath
again
that helmet,
to see what
is
his
a very
deal is
sweet
more.
boy.
Is that a joke? Would a sweet boy threaten to kill someone? I don't get you, Mercedes.
Living at House Bartels changed him. But that's beside the point. Thank you, Caspar. I couldn't have confronted him without you.
Don't worry about it. I may not understand you half the time, but we're still pals.
Come on then, pal. Let's get back to everyone else.
Alright, we got the gem. That's what's important. In theory, I guess if you never put Mercedes in danger, you won't have to get much benefit out of this. And in theory, if that's the case, I might get more out of the healing staff. That's very idealistic though, so... Alright. We've got one paralogue left. I guess so. I don't think she's best girl, but it is time for her mission. suggested level 29. I'm dreading the hell out of this. But here we go.
There's no reason to feign ignorance. I know all about you.
What are you talking about?
Just come here.
Like, unlike the previous chapter, the enemies will be charging for
Don't
Marianne.
interfere. Just hand the girl over to
And
me.
there's not a whole lot outside of warping a unit to the other side of the map.
I'm telling you this for your own good. You're putting yourself
really
in danger by associating with her.
She starts off completely by herself. And
Do
she
you
has
know
no
of the wandering
experience
beast
whatsoever in
stalking the
anything.
woods in the Edmund territory?
This is
It is said
easily
that it
the
attacks
hardest
people
paralogue
every
in the
night
game.
and drags them off to feast. The true identity of the wandering beast is that girl right there.
No, I would never.
No matter. I'll get the evidence I need.
My apologies for getting you involved in that. In truth, that man has been following me ever since my father disappeared. He's a crest scholar. The crest that my father bore and was passed down to me, it was Maurice's crest. Yes, it's also known as the Crest of the Beast. It's said there were once 12 heroes who saved Fodlan. There was the King of Liberation, Nemesis, the 10 elites, and finally, Maurice. One day, Maurice suddenly transformed into a hideous beast and slaughtered innocent people. It was like when Miklon of House Gautier turned into a black beast. The negative energy dwelling within his crest turned Maurice into a monster. The people of Fodlan grew to despise him, and he was stripped of his honor. His whole clan was conquered, and it was believed that his bloodline had vanished. But even now, there exists a few descendants who have inherited Maurice's crest and his curse. My family line is one of them. Maurice's crest is a symbol of disaster. Anyone who comes in contact with it is met with great misfortune. Those who carry the crest become beasts at night and slaughter innocent people. Yes, the rumor about the wandering beast in the woods. People are saying the creature is similar in appearance to Maurice's bestial form. That may be true, but I doubt I could do it on my own. If you and some of the others came with me, though. Thank you. But, promise you won't tell anyone about my crest?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to have to ask, but thank you.
Interestingly enough, if you're not on the Golden Deer route and you don't recruit Marianne, you basically never see her again as an ally or enemy. Alright, this is going to be rough. One, it's a Fog of War map, which I already hate. Two, there is this thing next to a level 16 Marianne. That's a great recipe for success here. Like, what the hell do I do with that? Alright, we want fires, things that can cast warp, and like nothing else. So, Constance, happy. Let's give Marianne a weapon at least. God, this is gonna be awful. At least she has physics, but evasion ring. There we go. That'll help. Still 2 slots for doing stuff with. I've got 2 units that can cast warp and 3 flyers. Goal here basically has to be mad dash for the boss. There's no other way to do this that I can think of.
Well, is that the thanks a bunch? Is that the thanks a bunch? Is that the thanks a bunch?
Boy.
Come back
All right.
soon.
I guess I can deploy some other units that, like, do something. Dimitri, Felix, sure. I could temporarily give someone a dancer battalion to have one more extra warp in there. But let's see what happens with this first, because I don't feel like messing with battalions. Alright. Oh wait, that's wrong. No, that's wrong. Constance. Oh right, she can't have Yuri as a... Never mind. Ooh, I know what I can do, I know what I can do. Vittori, reclass. Azithia. Dark Flyer. Sweet.
I will forge ahead.
Italian. Azithia. So, we're going in here with 4 flyers. Though that does leave... Ooh, I can do some fun stuff with this. So I can... Alright, we're actually not that far out, so... Either way, there's going to be a lot of experimenting here. It's Fog of War, we've got quite a distance to cover, and whatnot.
You.
Our crest?
Why not?
Ready when you are.
Already starts.
Ready when you are.
What did I hit?
Ready when you are.
Haha, we got him.
My beastly.
I'll do my best.
Sally forth!
I will prevail.
How is that guy getting all the way there? Alright.
Sally forth!
How far can rescue get? Magic over 4, so 9. Okay, so 9 spaces from her. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. God. Darn it.
Sally forth!
Okay, we're almost out of Divine Pulse.
Sally forth!
I mean, we've still got a bunch, but you know how it is.
Cut!
What's my strategy?
You saved the wandering.
Okay. We're in okay shape here.
Demonic beast.
I will prevail.
Leave it to me.
I'll cut through.
Alright.
Let's make this quick.
More fighting.
How much ground can we cover here? Alright, see what happens here.
Nothing will stop.
Okay, it's going after Ingrid. That's a start.
Nice try.
God, Phantom Soldiers, this is unpleasant. Dodged a pretty big bullet there. Okay, Marianne one-shotted. As expected. Let's start from the very beginning.
Sally forth.
God. I hate Fog of War maps.
Sally
They're the
forth.
worst stupid thing. How is that not in range? This is so dumb! I can't see the map!
What's my strategy?
Sally forth.
I'll do my best.
Alright, we can get within 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is still not great.
Why not?
Leave it to me.
Demonic beast.
Yeah, sure, whatever. God, it's not done for that. That's what I'm trying to do. I am really trying. She's not making it easy for me.
More fighting.
Appreciate it.
Warp Marianne to hide in a corner behind everyone else. Hope the RNG saves everyone else, because I have plenty of other
Let's make this quick.
here.
I'll cut through.
Okay, that got rid of that guy.
Ready when you are.
I will prevail.
Ready when you are.
The offensive here.
I will prevail.
Okay. We are in something of business here.
Let's make this quick.
Something resembling business. Of course, double miss at 53%. Why would anything else happen?
Too slow.
RNG gonna RNG.
Leave it to me.
Kill the mage easily enough.
What's my strategy?
I'll cut through.
That's one way to do it. Okay,
Great
another
work.
wolf is done.
Sally forth!
Hold everyone else back
Why not?
until I know what the hell's going on.
I'll do my best.
Hide in the forest.
More fighting. Thanks.
Cover this base here so that Marianne doesn't get unexpectedly killed.
How sweet.
Alright. It went for Felix when it could target Lysithia. Don't know what that's supposed to mean. I guess it's fearful of Lysithia's counterattack more than Felix's, which would make a lot of sense. Before that, let's have Byleth. Dang it, for like a little bit of damage. Take out its health bar. So it's on full health bar for Lysithia to nuke. Or we can send in Dimitri here, because we killed two. And the door for Lysithia to do something else.
That would.
Oh right, it still has a third health bar, so... This ought to work. Ah. Those two can do their thing. Everyone else, just stay the hell away from it.
Apologies.
Not here. Okay.
Nothing will.
Reinforcements showing up over there. Let's get Marianne the hell out of there.
Much needed.
Send Ingrid in to intercept. Kill the wolf. Okay. Forest top. Yes, that was Alethea. Fire Alethea is so good.
That helps.
It doesn't even do as much damage, but she's just so good. And honestly, does she really need to do more damage? Like, those kind of numbers. Okay, it's trying to gambit out on Petra. Oh god.
Next try.
Felix chip damage.
Too slow.
Okay. They're bringing the big guns, but so am I. So am I.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Marianne. You're helping.
Apologies.
Oh my. Fog of War, you're killing me here. Dead. Cool. Alright, we gotta fight him sometime. Actually, is there any other way we can deal with this right now?
Assault coming.
mission they've thrown at me. Does have another health bar coming. Oh my God. That's
Why not?
I hate Fog War so much.
More fighting.
It's the worst.
Appreciate it.
I'd be getting it done.
Let's make this quick.
Sally forth!
What's my strategy?
Ready when you are. Next try.
I'll do my best.
Real sweet.
Leave it to me.
Oh boy.
I'll cut through.
Just barely kill him.
I will prevail.
I feel like it's his last use of. Seems to be not hitting with their gambits that well, at least, which was very fortunate on our part. Because I would not want to be dealing with that right now. Alright, I think we're winding down on this.
Quite helpful.
They're pretty much out of guys in theory.
That helps.
We can start having fun here. Oh, he's completely immune to magic. That's fair. That's completely fair. Let's see if we can warp the tree in there somehow. Oh god, there's more. job. Holding on here. Alright, so we don't have alert stance next turn, but on the other hand, we're dealing with a lot less enemies. This guy's barrier is down. Go to town, Felix. Oh, once his barriers are down, he's not immune to meteor. Nice. Well, meteor at his face. In that case, let's get happy tactically close.
Thanks for that.
Oh, hey, he hit one of his own guys that I didn't see. That's funny. Oh boy. Well, he does have a chance of doing 25 back here, which I don't like very much, but I can't do barrier. So. And then we can take out his third health bar here. Or I can try and get. Yes. These last two health bars. I've got more than he does.
That sword, are you?
Yes! Sweet critical. He's dead.
This is for every.
Well done.
That was not easy.
This nightmare of 1,000 years is at its end. Oh, inheritor of my crest. If this body is to decay, then the sword, I leave it to you.
Oh my god, wow. Wow, that was something else. Like. And for that, we got a crappy sword. that you can use with Marianne's crest if you make
I
her a
still
holy knight,
can't
I guess.
believe what
but,
we
like,
saw in that forest. The wandering
you still have to
beast's
train her in
eviscerated
swords to
body.
use it, and why?
Only human bones, and this sword remaining. Surely the creature's true identity was...
I'm sorry.
You again?
I heard rumor that the Wandering Beast was slain. But do you really believe that frees you of suspicion? Without proof that it was slain, the argument that you are not a beast does not stand. Furthermore, Huh? Oh, that sword!
When the wandering beast was defeated, this sword...
It's unmistakable. Carved into that sword's crest stone is Maurice's crest. But how would the lost magic blade end up with the Wandering Beast? According to what I know of Maurice's story, he didn't let go of the sword until the very end. That must mean... I see. So that's what happened. My apologies. It seems I was mistaken. I must be going.
So the wandering beast was... He was roaming the dark woods for over 1,000 years, suffering for his murderous past.
And that, folks, is why Myzothea as a dark flyer has a use
Because
case.
of that,
Because you can
I feel as though my
have the
curse
flexibility
has been
to use her for
blood
less
of a
damage
beast
but
no
more movement
longer
in missions
flows
like
through
that.
me. I feel human for once. Thank you, Professor. I couldn't have done it on my own. Without your help, I would never have found peace. I'll do anything I can to repay my debt to you.
Alright, Blute Gang.
My...
And it immediately goes to sit on... Okay, now we're gonna do something nice and comfy, because, wow, those two missions were...
I hope...
Nice easy monsters in the desert mission. We're gonna be using a lot of mages here again, because that's the name of the game. Get out of my party, Marianne, sorry. Okay. I guess we can bring Felix for more range. That makes a little more sense than Ash or Sylvan. Alright, he gets good movement. Good enough, I guess. Alright, we're good.
Why not?
Just not.
What's my strategy?
Cool.
Guess I'll...
More fighting.
Thanks.
I will prevail.
Ready when you are.
I'll cut through.
Let's make this quick.
I'm in.
At your service.
Sunshine.
Too slow.
Really?
I will prevail. No use. Let's make this quick.
More fighting.
Why not? Appreciate it.
Sunshine.
Cool, good stuff.
Ready when you are. Not quite.
That worked well.
I'll cut through.
At your service.
I'm in.
What's my strategy?
strong.
I said.
Thank you. Thanks.
Cool. Done.
My thank you so much.
I am grateful. I have gratitude.
Thanks so much.
I thank you.
Alright, that is weak.
Still. What? What?
Didn't realize I had not fixed this.
Thanks for...
Off.
I don't like using a one-session training like that, but given the alternatives available to me right now, I think that's the best investment of that slot.
Professor!
I'm sure you'll see the battlefield again in Casper Sun at some point for that to matter.
I am having a report, Professor.
I'll do what I must.
Now to keep polishing my... Seems my practice is...
I get it.
Alright. So we get one more training this month, and for that... make a quick round of the monastery.
Hi.
Pat everyone on the head a couple times. Bully Bernadetta. No, we're not actually gonna bully Bernadetta this time. We have no reason to go see Bernadetta. She has nothing to say.
Unbelievable.
I'm really through with, but now? For me? For me?
Strolls. Who's next? Demetrius, Sylvan, and Ingrid.
Professor, I'm... No, it's... Thank you. Thank you.
What, you don't want to study Dimitri? Jeez.
Thank you.
Who's this?
Sylvan out there, Ingrid.
Maybe. I don't feel, but if it's hot, I figure you've been friends. Oh. Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
Starting to run out of items here, but we'll have enough for a while.
Hello. We buried there. Once this for now, all will be. Is this for?
Anyway...
Well.
Singing is nice, isn't it? The only thing is, too rough.
Getting there toward faith levels for those two. Dorothea's out here? Yeah.
So many, and here it's almost... So many, and it's almost...
Gifts. Gemstone beads.
Are you...
And stylish hair clip. It's somewhere.
Are you sure? So many, and it's almost...
Oh, screw that. Okay. I was gonna eat one of my time slots here, but
Professor.
Fighting enemy. If only I...
Catherine can still get training from her in the sword, right?
Professor. If we're fighting, perhaps Lady Rhea.
What?
There's this stuff I never.
Getting there. Almost there. Who are we missing? Felix, Mercedes, Petra, and the three in Abyss.
I need to be speaking. Taking that as actual.
I need to be speaky, Petra. That's...
This is...
Even for her grammar, that's...
This is...
Okay. And I must have passed Mercedes somewhere. Holy shit, 10 o'clock already. Spent a long time in those paralogs.
You'll need to, though, don't you?
But we have a kingdom to get back to, so we're getting to that tonight. Mercedes. There she is.
So they'll be a... Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I agree. So they'll be a...
And the three of us. How did I miss Felix? I just saw him. Oh my god, I'm so bad. Thankfully, not any more Fog of War maps that I know of. Those are almost definitely my least favorite.
You'll need, though, don't you? I know nothing about... I know nothing... That's my... All right.
Okay, and the three that are in Abyss. Oh my god.
So?
You really?
Thanks. Thanks.
That might come in handy. That might come in handy. That might come in handy. For me?
Oh, didn't realize you liked coffee.
It take this way?
Alright, we're good down here. This ought to be interesting.
What's the use? Even with all I've learned, I still don't understand.
Hello, Constance. I hope I'm not interrupting.
Not at all. I was just in need of a sympathetic ear. I found a magical scroll, which, unless I am mistaken, should relieve me of my woes.
Oh, wonderful!
Not so fast. The magic within this scroll is a type I have neglected to study. It pains me to admit this, but it may take decades of going back to the basics to grasp it.
Decades? That's a long time to spend with your nose buried in an old piece of parchment.
Why must the goddess dangle a solution before me, only to cruelly pull it away?
There's no need to despair. To tell the truth, I like you just as you are.
You do? Why? Those low moods of mine have never done anyone the least bit of good.
You're like a little sister to me. Nothing you do will change that. Not even a little bit.
Really?
Of course, you're my sweet Constance, and I like you just as you are.
I see. Perhaps my moods are not the great burden I thought they were.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pressure you. No matter what decision you make, I support you.
I felt no pressure, I assure you. It's more that I feel embarrassed to have been embarrassed. I'd put so much effort into finding a magical means to alleviate myself that it never occurred to me that maybe all I needed was to accept myself.
What will you do with the scroll you found?
Oh, I'll continue to research it, for research's sake if nothing else, but I may have no need of it. It's not as if these moods of mine have ever hampered my efforts to restore my house. And I am as a sister to you, no matter which face I present, yes? Nothing, no mood, no foe, no obligation, will keep me from honoring my sisterly duty to protect you.
We can protect each other.
Good. It is settled.
All right.
Now we can begin the hard work of reclaiming our titles.
Absolutely. We'll become sister sages and restore our houses to their former glory.
You understand the plan perfectly. If we walk this path together, it can only end in triumph.
Dimitri.
Marianne?
No. Alright. We're done with all these. Yes, everyone's back in full motivation. Oh god, I didn't mean to do that, but
Thank you.
I don't think it matters much anyway, because I had nothing left to do with those time slots.
Oh, wow, thanks. I am grateful.
I thank you.
did.
Not bad. You're...
Other skills from last playthrough, because they didn't have last playthrough.
Thanks for...
Yes!
I'm almost tired. I could do... My...
Off. Thanks for...
Petra.
You're... You...
It was...
Nice. That went well. Okay. What else have we got?
Professor?
Thanks.
See who it gives me here.
Listen to the...
I'll keep...
Not great. Dorothea's faith already maxed, and the other character being Gilbert.
We had a great...
I see how this works.
I
Spell
think
for
I got
Superman,
it.
I guess.
I'm a quick study.
I'm looking sharp, huh?
Some good stuff there. Seminar, Mercedes. Yep. Excellent.
I see how this works.
Aha! Thank you so much.
There you go, Mercedes. Alright, mission time. Get this done tonight. Get the Lion King back his kingdom.
Despite their victory at the Battle of Gronder, the Kingdom Army turns around and marches for Ferdiad instead of heading south. To hail the arrival of the Kingdom Army, the people of Ferdiad begin to rebel. No move is made to suppress them. Instead, Cornelia directs her borrowed Imperial troops to prevent Dimitri from reaching the Kingdom capital.
You have my gratitude. Ferdiad, it has been a lifetime since I was here last. 5 years ago, in fact. On the day before my execution, when Dedu helped me escape from prison. I killed soldiers from my homeland, stole weapons from their corpses, and made my escape soaked in their blood. To think this is how I would return to the city of my birth after all that has happened. I do not deserve that. If not for you or Rodrigue, I would still be lost. I am glad to have you at my side. From the bottom of my heart, I am forever grateful. Let's win this, Professor. Let's all make it out alive and celebrate our victory.
Your Highness, the path to the castle has been cleared. We are making preparations to advance. Say the word, and we march.
Yes. Let us begin. Everyone, listen well. This battle is for all that the Empire stole from us. It is a fight to reclaim the days of peace we once enjoyed. I give you but 2 commands. Stay alive and follow your heart. That is all I ask. The gates to the kingdom capital are open. Join me. It is time to take back our home!
I thought I would see you again, little princeling. So stubborn. It must run in your family.
Cornelia, the city is overrun with insurrection. It seems to be in response to our enemy's arrival. If we do nothing, our army may suffer damages. We should suppress the citizens immediately.
The people are rebelling? Let them do as they please. Or are you saying you have enough soldiers to divide our forces? Quite bold of you, with our enemy's most elite soldiers at our doorstep.
But what are you suggesting?
The city is going to be a battlefield anyway. Kill all who oppose us, even if they are members of the general populace. Go on now. You are needed out there.
As you wish. May we find fortune in the battle to come.
Huh. What an inconvenience the little princeling has turned out to be. And bringing that troublesome person along with him. It would have been much better if he and his sweet little stepsister had been good little children and just killed each other.
Alright. Here we go. Time to take back Ferdiad.
Well, come back.
Where's Felix? Oh, he's over there. Right. Got it. Well, units that can take care of themselves a bit better over there, so... also work. I have thieves in 2 places rather than 1, so... And that's the decision to take Mercedes out, is to put 2 thieves in because of how big this map is.
Ready the Titaness in the streets.
Advance! I will not lose.
What's my strategy?
Leave it to me.
I'd be honored.
Why not?
More fighting. Sunshine.
Tee-hee.
I remember.
Let's make this quick.
Oh, right.
I can...
Quite get my Italian
I'm
set
in.
up. But I'll live.
A hard life sharpens the senses.
Ready when you are.
I'll cut through.
What's the plan?
That was unexpected. Didn't expect him to have a counter for that. I put myself in the wrong.
I will
Yeah, those
prevail.
feelings ready for him. So I'm just gonna rewind.
I'll cut
and
through.
do it from 3 away instead of 2.
I will prevail.
Nice try.
Oof. Please.
Too slow.
Okay, that worked out.
Saw
Okay.
coming.
Leveling up Marianne for
Even
some
the-
reason. I guess I have 12 to
I
win,
want-
so...
What's my strategy?
Leave it to me.
I won't.
Keep it up.
Sunshine.
I'm in.
Ready when you are.
Let's make this quick.
Oh, okay. Okay, these guys are not immune to magic, so... You can choose them for instance.
If there is magic in you,
More fighting.
Much.
Why not?
One health bar down. Forgot to throw Felix a physical. Or someone, I guess, needed it. Not Felix. Or I can do this.
You're a big help.
I guess.
What's the plan?
I could learn from that.
Oh, it's just that little mage that can hit us here. Never mind, no biggie.
My out.
I'd be honored.
Good work.
Pretty good falcon right there.
Hard.
That probably wasn't necessary considering I'm doing this immediately, but I guess if he's silenced, I can pick off some of the others first.
I owe you one. done.
Happy level 40.
Oh,
Weren't the Titaness enough for you?
Oh, those damn things. Ow. Oof. Oh, that was his own guy. Never mind. Still has 2 health bars to get through. There we go. Really? RNG killed me here. Yeah, sorry, I need to set that up very differently now.
Let's make this quick.
I'm in.
Had to play the RNG there, but broke the barrier.
Ready when you are.
More fighting.
What's my strategy? I'll...
Sunshine.
Why not?
Leave it to me.
I will prevail.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, that at least took that out.
I'd be honored.
Ash, let's fire a Deadeye at it. Finish off this bar. level up for Mariam.
I'm...
Gross.
Appreciate it.
Maybe.
What's the plan?
I'll cut through.
That's what that was. Yeah, it's a meteor or something. Ow.
Too slow.
Okay. Come back from this.
Thanks for that.
Me? Really?
Huh, thanks.
That's unfortunate. Probably should have done that differently.
I'm in.
Ready when you are.
Looks like I can now. Unless this maybe, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah!
Nice try.
I must.
make this quick.
Okay, that one's down. Now they're paying us a little more. Ugh, I don't like that. Oh god, we got off here.
So this is...
Alright, we lose. Okay, alright.
I'd be honored.
I will prevail.
Do we have any other heals?
Let's make this quick.
I'm in. Thanks. Leave it to me.
Ready when you are.
This is a really costly move to make. That cost me taking this one down, but don't really have a choice here.
Hopefully I'll be more useful now.
So now they're... Okay, one of them goes for Dimitri, that's good. Oh my... Jesus Christ! Okay. These things hit so hard.
Sunshine.
Obviously.
I will prevail.
Leave it to me.
I'd be honored.
Alright, let's try this one.
Let's make this quick.
I'm in.
Ready when you are.
Jesus Christ. This RNG can go jump in a lake.
Hopefully. This situation is dire.
Not even kidding.
No use.
Okay, she's got good enough. Just can't do anything about that, can I? Okay, we made it to player phase. God, that was awful.
Why not?
So, I'll cut through.
What's the plan?
Okay. use.
Thank you. Ready when you are.
More fighting.
Overused her meteor.
I must pull through.
Is that wise?
Okay. It's dead. Send Ingrid into that, so hopefully that's not a terrible idea. God, those things are painless.
Too slow. Next try.
Oh, now she has no weapon on.
Too slow.
That should stop
These strange devices.
What's my strategy?
I can...
Cool new bow.
Thank you.
God!
Leave it to me.
Yeah, that's on me for leaving constants in range like that.
Sunshine.
Can't put her in range of the archers like that, of course.
How sweet. More fighting. So sorry.
Why not?
Okay, this will go better.
Saw it coming.
I'll cut through.
I mean, we could just kill the boss and be done with it, but what fun would that be?
Ready when you are.
Not quite.
I'd be honored.
I will prevail.
Don't be careless.
Hey.
I'm in.
7 charges.
Sunshine.
Why not?
Alright, we got him.
I'll cut through.
What's the plan?
What's my strategy?
Thanks for that.
Let's make this quick.
She does attack. She does have death. Okay.
Ready when you are. Next try.
I will prevail.
I'd be honored.
Alright.
That took... I'm in.
Got something over here that's gonna be super tech. Oh snap, I can pull it off. Yes, that's so cool. Oh my god. Play the game.
More fighting.
Is that wise?
Leave it to me.
Oh wow. Heck of a battle.
Appreciate it.
Nice. Good job, Petra.
Nope.
Okay. That guy's first health bar is toast. Second health bar, actually. But Petra is hurting, so... On the other hand, we just need to break his last barrier, and then let's get the fries fix off.
The situation is dire.
You saved me.
Alright.
Leave it to me.
Nope, that puts... Oh, person she's right there. That happens, so...
I'd be honored.
Losing it wasn't even worth it. Unless... Haha. Take that.
I'll keep.
More fighting.
That's bad. Petra's in range. Well, this could end poorly. But it didn't, so we're okay.
What's my strategy?
I am nearing my limit.
We'll be okay. Ash actually did something.
Let's make this quick.
That's okay. It is in fact on its last health bar, so this.
I can.
So it's having fun in this mission.
Thank you.
Ready when you are.
Why not?
Sunshine.
I'll cut through.
What's the plan?
I'm in.
Much needed. So,
Okay. Operation kill every last one of them. Almost done here. Alright, so there's a special conversation to be heard here. I don't know if this is actually really something. This is not an advisable battle to engage, but first of all, I have 5 charges on that, so whatever.
So it is you. When I heard you were a court mage or whatever, I could hardly believe it. Well, no point in standing around and chatting about old times. Let's get this over with.
Ow.
I'll try.
Someone else will do some chip damage here. Not yet.
Oh my.
Oops. Big crit. I had a feeling that was going to happen. I was going to give you the honors, Dimitri, but the RNG had other plans in mind.
It's over, Courtney.
Right you are. Very well. I have an old tale that I would like you to hear, if I may. About something that happened 10 years ago. Something Patricia said about how she wished to see her real daughter again, no matter who or what she had to sacrifice to do so. And about how I made her wish come true, at the cost of the King's head.
The King's head? You mean Dusker? You monster! You mean to say that my father, everyone, was killed by my stepmother?
That's right. Her family meant everything to her. You certainly know that feeling, do you not? Oh, poor little prince. Unloved by the only mother he ever knew. How pitiful.
How dare you!
There's nothing left for you now. Nothing but despair.
I'm glad I can count on you.
Alright. That is the end of chapter 18. I don't think there are as many paralogs in the coming chapters, so
Try as that woman might to spout nonsense to her very last, nothing could change the fact that she was an enemy of the kingdom. She sold out Fargus to the Empire, forcing our people to suffer their tyranny. But all that ends today. No more blood will be needlessly spilled. Now that Cornelia has fallen, we will exert pressure on the nobles who were aligned with her. Perhaps we may yet find a connection to the tragic incident in Dusker. Once we do that, we will finally be able to prove the innocence of its people.
Your Highness, I am certain that would make those of Dusker who lost their lives that day very happy. I am grateful, and I am proud to serve a man such as you.
Come, Your Highness. You still have some responsibilities that must be carried out. Your people have been patiently awaiting your return.
Do you mean... No. I can't bear to face them after all that I... Professor. Right you are, as ever. I am their king, after all. What is this?
As you can see, the people are rejoicing at the return of their king.
Even though I turned my back on them and fled the kingdom in disgrace.
Even so, the spectacle before you does not lie. We are a kingdom in need of a king, a hero to save the people from their long oppression. Your Highness, it is truly a blessing that you have returned.
Do I really have the right to stand here? Will they accept me as their king? Bloodstained as I am I fit to be king? These are happy tears, my friend. I am finally home again. Fargus, how I missed you. It may be spring, but the nights are quite chilly here in Ferdiad. Still, our celebratory feast shows no sign of stopping. Have you grown weary of the festivities? If memory serves, you were much the same at the ball all those years ago. I have just returned from visiting the graves of my loved ones. It had been a long while since I left Flowers. I was always terribly afraid of going near there, but I could not stay away forever. You have taught me something important, Professor. You never let up, do you? No, what I'm referring to is far more valuable. How should I put this? Perhaps it is most accurate to say that you taught me how to live. If you and I had not reunited on that fateful day, I am certain I would have died a fruitless death on the battlefield. I would have foolishly challenged a horde of foes, and in doing so, needlessly sacrificed the lives of my friends and myself. But now I have returned to my rightful place. I struggle with what to say when I know well that words are not enough to express my gratitude. You saved me from the darkness and guided me back to the light. Thank you, Professor. With all that I am, I thank you. Revenge was never something I wished for. It was an obligation I felt I had inherited from those who died. I believed my life belonged to those who lost their own in Duscur. But what I now seek is something else entirely. I can say that with confidence. But I digress. For tonight, our only focus should be to bask in our victory. After that, we must prepare for our battle with the Empire. To start, we must absorb the Kingdom Knights taken by the Dukedom into our own forces and reshuffle our troops. The Lords will need to help purge our territory of Imperial forces, and I will use my authority as king to gather forces from various regions. And we'll have to ask the merchants to lend us the funds we require. Oh, and we must request delivery of supplies at once. Just thinking about it all makes my head spin. There is much to do, but it is all critical work if we hope to stand a chance against the Empire. Yes, I am well aware. I believe we have spoken of this before. Everyone has something they simply cannot accept. As for Edelgard, I am certain she will never be able to accept the Church of Seiros. I believe that is why she seeks to destroy it. She is looking to revolutionize the world, in her mind, for the better. But even if she manages to birth a new world, it would be at the cost of... I wish to end this war through acceptance, not annihilation. Just as my people accepted me, I wish dearly to accept her. But I fear...
Your Highness, I finally found you.
I'm sorry for slipping away. Has something happened?
An express messenger just arrived from the leader of the Alliance. Please, return to the castle at once.
An express messenger? What in the world could Claude be after? I am on my way. Professor, please join me.